Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here, and we're broadcasting from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. I've got the call screen right in front of me. So if you call, what happens is our engineer, John, will answer the phone. He'll ask you your first name and the state you're calling from. It will appear on my screen, and I can click a button that says air, and you'll be on the air live with our broadcast classroom. There's a link to all of your instructors at the website, USAPREPARES.com. John is engineering the broadcast. Captain John Ragan's with us in Dallas, Texas, Studio D. Welcome, John Ragan.
Good morning, Vincent.
Hey, is it Monday again?
I think so.
Hey, thanks for being with us today, Captain John Ragan. And in the studio with me, he flew in to spend some time here at the farm, is Freeze Dry Guy. Welcome, Freeze Dry Guy.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for letting me be here.
Yeah, and by the way, Freeze, you did a great job last night at the meetup, and a lot of people were interested in just what is freeze dried food and how it's made, and are they all the same, and pouches versus cans and so forth. And so during this broadcast, we're going to weave in a whole bunch of thoughts on how freeze-dried food is made, what to look for, and how long it lasts, and so forth. That's not a commercial. This is a informative class, same kind of class we had last night at the meetup at Jimmy's Egg. By the way, we learned about the cache-free technology, the reactor and the plasma reactor, and I've got a lot of questions, and what I've decided to do, let me say this exactly as how it happened. I mentioned to the meetup group that we were going to see a video on the technology, and it was being presented by Lincoln Justice of the Springfield, Missouri area. And he presented this, and so there was some information on this 45-minute or so video, and we had questions and answers. And I started the presentation by saying I don't know enough about this technology to know what to do about it, but I'm interested. I'm certainly interested if there's a device that we could build that would generate 2,000 watts or 2 kilowatts of power. I'm certainly interested. And I'm certainly interested in building a prototype and experimenting, and maybe the group would want to do it as well. I thought that the materials might cost $100 to build one. Lincoln Justice thought $200, and he revised it to $300 when we started the meetup. And I said, we had a lot of people at the restaurant last night at Jimmy's Egg in Springfield, and so I said, well, $10 or $20 a piece, we might have enough to, for those who are seriously interested in pursuing this, we could spend a little bit of money in each and find out if it actually works and build one at the restaurant. Well, the more information I saw about this, the more questions I had, and finally there was a gal who had to leave early, and she said, here's a piece of paper with my name and number and email address, and here's some money, and I said, I'll tell you what, I don't want to take anybody's money at this point because I've got more questions than I have answers. So I'll build it myself at the farm, and over the next couple of weeks, I'll bring it in and I'll show you what I've built and how it works or doesn't work. But I'll show you, and if there are others who want to do the same thing, you can build it at home as well, and we can share our information. So that's how I left it. The bottom line is I don't know. I would love to be able to report that it absolutely positively works, and they're easy to build, and we'll provide you with what we've learned. But I don't have the answers as to whether it will work or not. Now, I got a call from Miles this morning, Miles in Europe, and he said that it's working, and he knows of where it's working, and I'm delighted to hear that. And so if we can build it as well, we will share that information with you. I hope I gave you a description that is somewhat understandable as to, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'd love to have it work. Miles has friends who have made it work, and we want to do the same thing. And we will share that information with you. Captain John Ragan, your thoughts?
Well, I've seen claims on all these kinds of things for a number of years. I'm glad that we have somebody here that can actually, put this together and see if it works, because that's what really matters. Now the question is, were these things that we've seen before something that the government has stepped in and threaten the people, which is something that they absolutely do, and it's disappeared? Or was it just a publicity stunt? Either way, it doesn't benefit us. And, like I say, I'm be looking forward to your results.
Freeze, do you have a comment on this?
Well, you know what I would say. To be honest.
Okay. Alan Busick was there, and Alan Busick, Freeze, Alan Busick, you met him. He's an electrical engineer. He's been at all of our expos. He's been an on-air instructor with us. He's been on Doomsday Preppers. And if you're wondering who he is, he did the series on aquaponics. So there were these two guys in the Springfield community, Ozark Mountains, who were in this competition to do the best aquaponics system. And that was the Doomsday Preppers episode a couple of years ago. It was in a December episode. So that's Alan Busick. He is a electrical engineer. He's retired. And I asked him if he would comment on what his thoughts were as a result of seeing the information presented. And he said, I'm paraphrasing, that it goes against what he was taught as an electrical engineer. And I asked him about Ohm's law, and I said, has Ohm's law changed, in the last 100 years? And he said, no. And he said, but there are people who spend money on entertainment. And there are people who gamble. And if you look at this, spending some money on this is from his perspective, as entertainment, go ahead. From my perspective, and he has an intellectual curiosity as well. So I'm going to try to take some time and make one of these devices. I've been interested in free energy for a very long time. Would I stake my life on it? No. So that's my perspective. John Ragan, you've got some information that you want to share with us. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's pick up pretty much where we left off. And I've got a couple of links that are tech-related. One's in the employment section called Future Job Cuts. And then Spy Tech, we got SpyLoo. The Future Job Cuts is that they have a fruit sorting robot that's, and their words are adaptable, smart, and cheap. And because it's adaptable, using current off-the-shelf technology makes it cheap, that this is going to be another one of those things that helps contribute to the not needing humans to do things. Typically, especially in agriculture, you've needed humans to do this menial work because that they're able to make decisions and change quickly when need arises. And then we've talked about the Internet of Everything, and this comes out of a convention where they present technology, the spy toilet that will analyze your droppings and report back to headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
So, make sure you take your medicines, you're eating what you're supposed to, and not eating what you're not supposed to. And, just basically, your health is a matter of national security, and they're going to get you coming and going.
Yeah. All right. So if we know that, one of the things that we're going to talk about today, I believe, is some factory closings like Kraft and Heinz, right? And as we talk about that, we're looking at, you talked about the drought. So it looks like the food supply chain is in peril. And freeze dry guy, I'd like to see what your thoughts are, because if we have a drought and if we have food supply shortages, your expertise is in the food aisle of preparedness. What do you think we should do in order to be more secure in our own family's food supply? What do you recommend we do?
Well, this, like I said so many times,
Vince, not hearing freeze.
Mm-hmm. How about now? Oh, okay, how about now? All right, go ahead. Well, I tell you what, we're going into a commercial break. And Freeze will be back with us, and he'll tell us what his thoughts are on food security for your family, my family. And we have taken those steps. John Ragan has, I have, and many of your instructors have. So we'll get his advice and counsel when we come back from these few short commercial announcements. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at $downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Your house is under attack. Every day, our homes and families are attacked by harmful gases, mold, and pollutants caused by everyday activities. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 5 to 100 times worse than outdoor air. And the American Lung Association states that poor indoor air can cause infections and chronic lung diseases such as asthma. Protect your family with a complete indoor air quality package from Wave Home Solutions. Wave ventilation units for basements and crawl spaces reduce moisture that nourishes mold, odors, dust mites, and expels gases and pollutants. Add the Wave 6-stage air purifier to get rid of the viruses, chemicals, and pollutants upstairs for a complete indoor air quality solution. A healthy home is the best investment you can make. Visit WaveHomeSolutions.com. That's WaveHomeSolutions.com or call 888-758-WAVE. That's 888-758-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Captain John Ragan's with us, and Freeze is here. So, Freeze, we were talking last night about what we should do and how we should build a food security system for our family. Let's say we have some new members of our broadcast classroom, and they're a family of 4. Let's say mother, father, and 2 young children. Where would you start? And money is is a consideration.
Of course, Vince. Well, my personal belief is I believe in a year's supply, and I think that's that's not where most people start. Some do. They just say, let's get it done. Depends on the yardstick, what you foresee, and then what actually happens. A month's supply or a week's supply or even a day is more than you might have had before. So, like I said last night a couple of times to your crew there at the startup or the meetup, get started with something, and let it build. And as I told the story way back when, in my early days, the wife and me went out and purchased $10 worth of food. That was 1968. Put it up on the shelf and looked at it and thought, we're started. And within, I think it was 9 months, we had a 6-month supply for 2 people. So it does build, but we must not procrastinate. If one is concerned about this thing, the call to action is now. So much has happened. I feel that, again, 1, 2, 3 months at least is a very good start. And whatever somebody is comfortable with, that's fine. I believe personally anything less than 6 months is really unrealistic, but it doesn't mean don't start with something. If it's $10 or $50 or $100 or whatever, I've got a great staff. They're very considerate. They take their time with people. We make sure we get this done right. You got something good that will do the job when it's supposed to, not today, but 10, 20, 30 years later, because it's tested out. Anyway, it's just we got life insurance. We get that, and we don't plan on dying. Hopefully soon. We get that. We get auto insurance. My analogy here that I've used before is, people say, well, they'll buy food from us, and then they after the perceived threat passes, they oftentimes want to get rid of it. I say, look, it's like you passed a big truck and found an oncoming car. You had to swerve back in, you go off the road and everything, but you're back on. You didn't crash. But does that mean you run right down to your insurance guy and cancel the policy? No, it probably means you take driving lessons and get more put aside. I feel the same way, and I've told people this possibly thousands of times over these last 45 years of doing this. People will have anxieties, and I say, look, you're going to spend this money today, and you're probably going to have a little buyer's remorse, maybe. But the next morning when you get out of bed, you'll feel more secure, and you will probably have slept better that night, and it always checks out. It's that in itself, I think, is worth the investment. But I firmly believe, as we look around, I came from California. You look at what happened out there with our food supply. We feed the nation, or we used to feed the nation fruits and vegetables. It's a mess out there, and it's getting like that elsewhere. And that's excluding the possibility of shutdowns, or I should say breakdowns in the food distribution, and moving that food from the farmer to the processor and on to the public. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to see this, how risky this can be. But again, start with something. Start with a week, a month, whatever. Give us a call. I don't know if you want to give out my number or anything, but
sure, give out your number.
Okay. It is 866-404-3663. 866-404-3663. My staff, they're superb. They don't twist arms. They don't, back the hearse up to your door. It's just a case of, what can we do to help you? What do you want to accomplish? How well do you want to eat? And ultimately it gets down to budget.
Interesting thing you mentioned, life insurance. I'll tell you what I would do. And this is just my personal opinion. I would forego life insurance for physical preparation.
I would agree with that, even if I wasn't in the business. Yes.
I mean, literally, I hate insurance. I mean, I despise it. I despise the Farm Bureau, and that's our farm insurance company. I think they're a bunch of thugs. Let me tell you, you have a car accident, somebody rams into you, and then your insurance company will issue you a check, most likely for half of what it's going to take to get you back to where you were. I don't like insurance companies. I think there's a lot of deception. I would rather take that money instead of giving it to those thugs. I'd rather spend it on my own personal preparedness. Freeze Dry Guys with us. And Captain John Ragan now return just.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
It's time to kick some ash because cigarettes have met their match. Smokers are switching to Vaporite e-liquid by LeSig because when you kick ash, you kick tar and smelly smoke too. LeSig smokes the competition with real people customer service, a 7-day satisfaction guarantee, and same-day fast free shipping. Become a vapor today at LeSig.com, spelled LECIG.com. LeSig e-cigarettes. Kick some ash.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Captain John Ragan's with us. Freeze is in the studio. Freeze-dried guy. Candy in Arkansas. You're on the air live with Captain John Ragan, Freeze, and me. Welcome.
Hi. Yeah, I had a question for Freeze-dried guy, just for information for those people that are just getting started on surplus food supply. And I was wondering how much in percentage of food should be like an MREs, dehydrated, and freeze-dried product, and what is the shelf life difference?
Candy, that's a very good question. I'm glad you asked it. I ate MREs for 17 of my 26 years in the Army. Okay, I'm not a great fan of MREs. They do a job, but they have the shortest shelf life of all of those items. Back in 1980, the U.S. government, Natick Army Labs, ran a time test, an actual test, not one of these accelerated tests. And at a constant 60 degrees, they were deemed acceptable for troop use after 130 months, which is about 10 years. But when they doubled the temperature to 120 degrees, they failed in 6 months. So MREs, they like I say, they do a job. A lot of people will put them in their grab-and-go bags in their truck or in their trunk or something. But if you do that, keeping in mind that temperatures can get well over 100 degrees, I would rotate those out of your pack every year, and then throw them in the corner at home and save them for Fido or whatever. Anyway, the freeze-dry, well, let's back up here. The dehydrated foods can have a very long shelf life, not typically as long as the freeze-dry, because when they dehydrate foods, they oftentimes destroy the enzymes. It has to be done very carefully, and I used to have a dehydrated line of my own that accompanied the freeze-dry. we were very fussy about who we dealt with. We knew what the dryers were doing, and they were keeping the temperatures low. See, most of these commercial dehydrators, they like to bang them out fast as they can. They used to oftentimes scorch the food. So we were fortunate in that I had some people we worked with very careful about it. Once you hit about 145 degrees, 140 maybe, you start destroying enzymes. Anyway, so if you pack it in an oxygen-free environment, and that's typically considered at least no more than 2% residual oxygen, that's from a practical standpoint. That's been a government standard for probably well over 50 years, that if you want to sell food to Uncle Sam, it typically, for storage, they want it under 2% oxygen. That's crucial. Our products tend to run, on average, 0.16%. It's way, way down there. It's the best in the industry. Whether that's dehydrated or freeze-dried, your oxygen levels are again, crucial. The freeze-dry, and again, packed the same way we do, removing the oxygen well. Again, indefinite shelf life, and indefinite's kind of a catch-all. I've been doing this, selling the same product for 45 years, and I've had taste tests. They were not scientifically done, but taste tests can be an indication pretty good of, you can pick up rancidity if there's any. And if it tastes good still, it probably is still viable. Now, over decades, your vitamin content will have to have diminished somewhat, perhaps a lot. But a lot of food, now I'm a little off track here, but a lot of food that's being sold as freeze-dried by various companies these days is a blend of freeze-dried and dehydrated, or flat misrepresenting. So happens the product I carry, Mountain House, and I was the first guy in the country started selling it back in 1970. Everything's freeze-dried. It's put in a big vat, cooked together. In fact, we don't have cooks; we have chefs, and prepared that way. And that's why it's the leader in taste and longevity. A lot of companies advertise. In fact, about 3 or 4 years ago, and I carried a product too that did just that. They said good for 25 years. They had no basis for that except some testing that was done at a university that said it ought to last this period of time under these conditions. Theirs was not proven. Mountain House has been proven, again, over 35 years. Now, the company is very conservative. They will say 25 years. That is so incredibly conservative, it's not funny. I have a 55-gallon barrel. It's very well known around the country. I prepared that in 1974 for an expedition that never came off. I think it was 74. Yeah, it was. And what's that, 41 years ago, I think? Yeah. And again, I dragged it around the country as I moved here and there, and had it in my basement most of the time. Would take packages out even today, go backpacking. They're superb. So it's a proven shelf life. Now, most of these companies, unfortunately, who have been, they're being more honest because they've gotten their ears pinned back on these 25-year shelf lives that they were claiming. Now, if you're reading the fine print, they will generally say up to 25 years. That's not good. That means, in my thinking, 6 months to 25 years, and I've seen some of those other products that have, I've seen them go bad in a short period of time. In all the years I've done this, I've opened maybe 1 or 2 of our cans that were bad over like 3 decades. And in one case, at least, I was pretty sure it had a pinhole in it from how I had it stored. I used to run my own destructive tests. They were pretty simplistic. Throw a case of food on the ground in a tin shed and come back 7 years later, see what happened. But yeah, I've just never had problems at all. And I've opened thousands of our cans.
Freeze, I have a question. Are all the freeze-dried products that are sold in this country, are they from this country?
No. 3 years ago, last August, I went on a buying trip. Mm-hmm. Went up, Utah brings in a lot of stuff, and they do a lot of packing up there. I wanted a really good packer. I didn't find the packer I wanted to achieve the quality. And to these guys' credits, I met with the presidents of all 3 of these companies, mm-hmm. and I said, okay, I need certification before I leave here, if we're going to do business, of where the point of origin, the country of origin for these products. And 30%, 35% of the fruits and vegetables coming into America were coming from Mexico and or China. And I said, well, okay, these are a no-go here. Cleanliness is important. It is crucial. And there's some countries, one in particular, will not deal with, because they will use virtually anything as a filler. I mean anything. And think melamine.
Well, it's killed. Melamine was found in dog food, and it killed one of our dogs. We saw it happen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was when we lived in Virginia. Yeah, absolutely. And it came from the Menu Food Company, and they have a lot of different brands of dog food. So even though it comes from one company, it's got lots of different labels. And yeah, it's a known fact that they killed a lot of dogs. I mean, a lot of dogs.
Oh, I knew about that, but I didn't know you personally.
Yeah. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, melamine. It's a toxic waste.
Yeah. Our product is raised in the United States. All the meats are USDA inspected. Mountain House has been the flagship in the food storage industry for 50 years. They are the best product there is, bar none. Anybody tells you otherwise in the business, they're either being untruthful or they don't know. And the other companies, in fact, these CEOs that I met with, they all knew where they stood. They were second and third stringers, but they were good companies. But they didn't try to snow me with something that I knew was false. But again, I like products that come from here, with the exception of Central and South America. I've talked to brokers there. I at one time had a limited line of freeze-dried fruits, and I'm very happy with those products. They're very well done. They're very clean. And some of the best land for growing food in the world.
You know, Freeze, one of the things that we take for granted, many of us, we buy food at the supermarket, and we just seem to assume that it's safe, it's clean, it's in a nice package, and everything is above board, and that's not necessarily the case. And you mentioned China. And I know Dr. Norman Shealy does not want to eat anything from China as well. And I bought some honey from Sam's Club when I lived in Virginia. I bought several jugs of this honey. It was Virginia brand honey. That's what it said on the label. And I put it in some tea. At the time, we had tan coffee mugs, and we had white coffee mugs, and we had glass coffee mugs. Right now, mostly we have black coffee mugs that say USA Prepares on them, but at the time they were light colored, and the tea was light colored, and you put the honey in it and stir it around, and it would turn black. And I called Virginia Brands, and ultimately they had a massive recall because Virginia brand honey came from China, and they used galvanized buckets to collect the honey from the field. Galvanized buckets, it contaminated the honey, and there was a massive recall, and I'm proud to say that we made that recall happen because I talked to the highest levels of management and said, no, you guys have a problem. I'm serious. So you're absolutely right, and I won't eat Chinese foods if I know it. And if we make a mistake, we read a lot of labels, but if we find that, in the tiniest of print, it says, product of China or China contents or something like that in food, if we accidentally buy it and we catch it, we bring it back, and we say, we didn't know this was made in China, for everybody around us to hear. And hopefully it makes the point. So, class, you're empowered to do the same thing. If you accidentally buy something from China, you can return it. And if you're in the store and you think that they shouldn't be carrying products for food that are made in China because you're concerned, why don't you go to the store manager and say, I don't have my glasses. Does this say China? Can you help me read this? Are you carrying food products from China? Just like when I go to the Chinese factory outlet and I go to the meat department, I say, you guys still putting pink slime in your ground beef? You guys still doing that? Yeah, you can do that and wake people up. It's really kind of fun. And after a while, your children will get to appreciate it. We'll be right back, going into a commercial announcement. with Freeze and John Ragan. John Ragan, I'd like to know about Heinz, if you're ready to talk about Heinz and Kraft. Since we're talking about food, we'll be right back.
Vince, is your color still?
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without a Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI Armor.com. Come and take it.
My name is Don Wiskin, and at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now, and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution Liquid, starting at $12.95 a bottle. Now available in regular and extra strength. That's half the price of the leading competitors. Call 844-USE-SILVER for your free catalog, or go to onesilversolution.com. Onesilversolution.com. There is only one Silver Solution.
Captain John Ragan's with us. Freeze is in the studio. John, just a short diversion. Freeze said something to me during the commercial break that I think we all need to know about. So, Freeze, we were talking about a local, supermarket where a guy worked, and what happened on Friday? Wait a second. Okay, go ahead.
I grew up in this town. I knew the owner of the supermarket from the time I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. This guy in church I became good friends with. He was a meat cutter at that market, and we were talking one time, and he'd left him. I said, "Why'd you leave? A great outfit to work for." He says, "Because every Friday I had to wash down the ground beef in Clorox, a Clorox solution. I don't know how potent it was, but wash it down to keep it looking nice." I said, "You got to be kidding me." He says, "No." He said, "They told me I had to do it." And he says, I couldn't do that, so I quit. That's an ethic. That's a lack of an ethic. It's incredible, Run a bargain basement sale on Friday on this stuff and get rid of it, but don't feed people poison. Let me come back to something too. I meant to say before we went to break regarding the products I sell. There is one item. Mm-hmm. It's our beef chop suey. All the ingredients, water chestnuts and stuff come in from around the world and all that. But there is one product, one item within it that it does come from China, and that is the soy sauce.
Okay.
I don't think you hardly get soy sauce that doesn't come from there. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that is the one exception. And I'm always dinging the company. Okay, what are we doing these days? What's changed? And they don't change much. They've been doing the same thing for 50 years, and they say it works for us.
Yeah.
I've seen them throw out batches of food, lots of stuff that wasn't good enough. They thought I would try it, and it's like superb. Mm-hmm. They're so fussy, and I tried to pattern so much what we do after them.
Okay. Captain John Ragan, can you share some information about what's happening with Kraft Heinz?
Sure. Kraft Heinz is closing 7 factories and eliminating 2,600 jobs. This will be taking effect over the next year or two. 6 of those facilities are in the United States, 1's in Canada, and the workload will be going to other facilities, as far as I can tell, in the United States. But they are spending millions of dollars in updating those facilities with state-of-the-art production lines, which it goes along with a recurring theme that I have that no humans need apply for work here.
Right, and that's one of the reasons why it's frustrating to be a young person in high school and who thinks, you know what, I've done 12 years of schooling. I think I'd like to start working, or maybe I need to start working. And I'll go to the factory and, be able to make a living that will pay the bills, and that those factory jobs are going away. I have an interesting update. Yesterday I mentioned that I went to Orscheln. Freeze and I went to Orscheln to pick up those protein lick tubs. And I called the consumer department. I got a voicemail, so I hung up and I called back. I got a voicemail and I left a message for them. They did not call me back. I called the CEO's office and I left a message, and I got a call back from Hillary Flood. And I told her that I mentioned Orscheln, and I told her the broadcast and where to fast forward to listen to where I talked about Orscheln, and that I probably wouldn't be going back. And I got a call back, 2 calls from the CEO yesterday, but I was gone. I was at the meetup, and he called me this morning before the broadcast, and we had a nice chat. And I have a feeling he's going to take into consideration some of the suggestions that I made. He did not rush me and say, "Look, I don't have time for you," but he did make time for me, and we talked at length this morning. So Rick Powers is the CEO of Orscheln, Orscheln Farm and Home, and he's very concerned about how they treat their customers. And he said that is not acceptable. And I have a feeling that heads are going to roll in the Marshfield, Missouri Orscheln store by the end of today. I have a feeling that there's going to be some pain over there, and they're going to fix the problem that they have. Freeze and I and Captain John Ragan will be right back right after these top of the hour news and commercial announcements. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPairs.com. Captain John Ragan's with us. Freeze Dry Guys in the studio with me in Missouri. And if you'd like to go to the website, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, and click on the news tab, you can follow along with us in class today. Captain John Ragan, there's an usher at a Catholic church in Ocala, Florida. He is 60 years old, and he was helping himself to, allegedly, according to this post that I'm reading about News 6, clickorlando.com, that he was accused of stealing offerings from a Florida church during prayer. Now, I'll tell you, times are getting worse. This is just one more piece of anecdotal evidence that while the congregation of this Catholic church, when they were praying, eyes closed, he took the opportunity, heads bowed, to help himself. And, of course, he's been arrested. The sheriff's office has set up a surveillance camera, and it's Blessed Trinity Catholic Church. So just one more piece of anecdotal evidence, and they found about $350 in the alleged thief's pockets. So he said he was going to put the money on the altar, but I guess he didn't get that far with it. Jeez. Captain John Ragan, what's up next, please?
Well, I'm going to take a little diversion since we've been talking about food. I've given homework before on the miniseries Frontier House that was on PBS back in 2002. It shows life back in the 80s, the 1880s to be exact, and it gives you an insight on how things were before industrialization kicked in. And unless you're Amish, you probably don't have a clue about how you need to live life. If you're still buying food from the store, you're not ready for what's coming. And it's not going to be pretty. The way life used to be, and this is the time of year where we have the fall festivals, and today, we have all kinds of fun with that. But before, this modern lifestyle, this was a time, you had the harvest, you did have celebrations, but then you also had worked to put away that food because you had to live through the winter and into the spring on what you had collected, because when you go and plant in the spring, it just doesn't magically, jump up in a few days and have something edible. Right. You're going to be weeks into spring before you have even some early crops to eat. So you have to have several months of food just to make it through the winter. Now, the other side is you don't know when you're going to have crop failure. There's all kinds of things that can happen in nature. And that was even before the manipulations that we see today. So not only do you need to be ready for winter, you need to be able to make it through the next winter into the next spring in case you have crop failure. And that's for people that knew how to raise their own food. If you're not raising your own food without the assistance of petroleum and electricity, you need to have even more food stored up so that you can get over your learning curve on how to do things that way. So you're looking at a minimum of 3 years and possibly even 7 years or more that you really need to have on hand just to make it through your own ignorance. And I can't afford that. I know a lot of people can't, but what you can do is, get in, see if there's anything you can reprioritize. And it's like the journey of 1,000 miles. It starts with a single step. If you don't start the steps, you're not going to make it. And, I know people don't like the message. There's a financial collapse coming, and it's going to be sooner than later. And if you don't like what I have to say about that, please, please, please show where I'm lying. Give me the numbers, show where I made a mistake in math, show where the history that I use isn't applicable, show in history where we can do this. Yeah, I'd appreciate that because, I'd like to believe that there's a way out. But every time I get in and start going in, finding numbers, and these are, as good as you can get, not the made-up GDP and employment numbers that we have, the audited financial numbers. There's just no way to avoid the crash. And when that happens, the food supply is going to be among the first to go. And that's just from the financial collapse, much less, the drought and everything else we have going on. And when people start waking up, that long-term food supply is going to disappear very quickly. And perhaps the freeze-dry guy can tell us, exactly how many people can wake up before the supply is exhausted.
Freeze-dry guy?
Not very many. We used to have, now I heard a figure last night at the meetup that was, higher than what I had been told, but many years ago I was aware of the fact, again, it goes back about 40 years ago, that our country had approximately 26 days worth of wheat for every person in the country. And that's when wheat was a huge thing being stored. Now it's down to maybe a day or two. What was said last night was, I think, that there was enough food put aside, and I'm not so sure that it was across the board, but in certain items at least, for 2-3 years for everybody. But no, we're not in the business in this country anymore of storing things. We use it's what's called just in time, right?
Mm-hmm. Just in time inventory.
And I've always called it just in the nick of time, if you're lucky. Even the military uses that. You got this pipeline moving, and if you have a burp in it or a hole in the pipeline, so to speak, for a while somebody doesn't eat, or somebody doesn't get the petroleum, or the soldiers don't get this or that. I find it unconscionable that we do that so much in the military now. Used to be in the military, we had 180 days worth of war supplies at any given time of everything from shoelaces to sea rations, So we're in a kind of a precarious situation. This is very efficient when it's working, and it saves a lot of money. But you don't have such an inventory control, but you don't have that buffer either.
It used to be that the stores had a back room freeze, and if you didn't see it on the shelf, the store clerk, you could ask him, "Do you think you have any of these in the back?"
Oh, yeah. And
the guy would disappear, and a few minutes later he'd say, he'd walk out with a case of them and say, "Yeah, let me put them on the shelf. Here you go. Here you can take this one right here, and I'll put the rest of them on the shelf." Now, as you're reaching for that item, this is a slight exaggeration, but as you're reaching for that item where it would be on the shelf, the store clerk is stocking the shelf. So that back room has been replaced with a truck that's going down the road, and the items that would be in inventory are on the truck on the way to the store. And the idea was, why store them? Let's just get them there just as the customer's reaching for them. And what I have found in too many instances is things that I would like to buy as replacement parts for items that have failed around the farm. Something breaks and I need to buy another one. Well, they'll be glad to order it for me. So that just-in-time inventory, to me, too often has meant we don't have it, but we'll get it for you. So you can pay for it today, and we'll have it for you, and maybe tomorrow or the next day. It's in a warehouse somewhere, and we'll get it on the truck, and we'll get it to you. But if I need it, I'd really like them to have it before I get to the store. And that's not always the case. So we have changed that model. So those of us who are in the preparedness mindset say, all right, well, we can't depend on the store. So we need to have them at our location. And that gets to Max's Law, which is buy the best, pay cash, and take delivery. And what that means is if you bought it and you bought the best and you paid cash for it and that transaction is settled, but you don't take delivery, you're not in control of it and you don't have it. And you may never get it. And a perfect case of that is pre-buying propane. Because we've had stories of people in our neck of the woods in the Ozark who have pre-purchased propane at the non-winter price, like before the winter. They'll buy 1,000 gallons for delivery during the winter. And a shortage will occur. And the propane company will say, yeah, I know you bought it. And yeah, we owe it to you. But you can't have it until the shortage is over, even though you're freezing. Sorry. But if you want to buy some more at the current price of $4.49 a gallon, even though we owe you 800 gallons that you already bought at $1.79, we're not going to give it to you. So that's buy the best, pay cash, take delivery, Max's Law. And that relates to food and your water filtration system and your can opener and your firearms and your cartridges and everything else. John Ragan, what's next?
Well, I want to talk about that food supply. It was 2007, 2008 timeframe when I discovered the CCC inventory, and this was what we used to have, the storehouse, and that included the wheat. And when I discovered the inventory, at the time there was just enough wheat where you could bake half a loaf of bread for every person in the country, and that would exhaust the supply. Everything else had already been lent out, and we have IOUs for all these commodities. And I hope those IOUs are tasty, because that's all the government has for us. And a few weeks ago, we came across that article where in 1964, the government had enough supplies to feed 100% of the population for 3 years, 2 meals a day. And today, that's 1% of the population, 1 meal for 1 day, or 2 meals for 1 day.
100% of the population, 2 meals. That's it. Is that what you're saying?
1% today.
Okay. John Ragan and I and Freeze will be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection, security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Hi, I'm Rick Ossick with Famous Footwear. Did you know that premature birth is the #1 killer of babies? That's why we support the March of Dimes in the fight against premature birth. Join us in supporting cutting-edge research, treatment programs, and outreach to help moms have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. Learn how you can help save babies' lives at marchofdimes.org.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution Liquid, starting at $12.95 a bottle. Now available in regular and extra strength. That's half the price of the leading competitors. Call 844-USILVER for your free catalog, or go to onesilversolution.com. onesilversolution.com. There is only one Silver Solution.
Captain John Ragan's with us. Freeze is in the studio. John, what's next?
Oh, I kind of feel like a Dallas Cowboy after fumbling that last statistic there. So let me make a recovery and let's cover that again. We went through that on the September 28th show. It's in the preparedness section. The link is titled 1964 versus 2015. And the way that the graphic shows, U.S. government food stockpiles to feed Americans. In 1964, 2 meals a day for 100% of the population for 3 years. That's what they were ready for. Today, 2015, you got those 2 meals for 1% of the population for 1 day. So for all practical purposes, just say nothing.
Okay, so if you think that the government is here to help you, you just heard the statistics, how far we have fallen very quickly. Mike Parsons in Tennessee, welcome.
Greetings, all. I'm listening intently, and I have to ask the question, when did it become the responsibility of a government to store food for me? That's my responsibility.
No question. But what we did was we had fallout shelters because our government created a threat for us, right? The Russians were coming, the Russians were going to bomb us, and we had fallout shelters. And then we had surpluses, and the government bought those, and they had them ready for us. But I agree with you. It is our responsibility. There's no question. I don't plan on taking government services for my food or my protection. I plan on doing that for myself, and I do that for myself.
Well,
and I know you do too, Mike.
All of this storable food usually ends up in some form of processed food, which is what we do not eat. We eat real food, which has a season, and then it spoils after a while. And that's how you can tell real food from artificial food, because it goes bad. And if it doesn't spoil, it's not real. I remember when I tried to explain to a fella at the Penick Hotel that what they were serving was not real butter, that it was a chemical, and that you could prove that by setting it out by the dumpster and watching how many flies didn't land on it. And we did that. We took a tub of this concoction and put it out there, and a couple of days later you could come back, there's not a bug on it. There were some dead beetles nearby, but we don't know if they died from consuming that or something else. It was there. And I wanted to answer the question. The easiest way to locate these elected critters, for those people that are having a hard time locating them, they never answer the phone, they're never in the office. Well, right now with the election season, you can go by the Election Commission office and request a copy of the registered voters list, which has every registered voter's name, home address, and many times their phone numbers. And it's always up to date. It has to be. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a registered voter. And all those people that run for office, well, they've got to be a registered voter. So if you're having difficulty locating your elected critters, there you have it. I think it might charge $25 for the CD of the list.
Mike, you're saying elected critters. You're talking about alleged representatives. You're talking about politicians as well as we, the villagers who participate in the voting scam, right?
Correct. The corporate bureaucrats who are posing as elected government of we, the people, the imposters. But if you're having trouble locating them, I'm just trying to provide a public service. This is the easiest way, and right now during the election cycle, you can get it's an Excel spreadsheet, comes on a disk, and you plug it in your computer, and voila, you've got the list of all registered voters, and any candidate has a right to get that disk. So if you're working on a campaign for somebody, or if you're running yourself and it only takes 25 signatures and not $1 to file to run for office, then you too can get a free copy of that list. I highly recommend it for those people that are having difficulty locating those elected critters.
Mike, let me ask you, maybe let's be specific about this list. Would a sheriff's deputy's name, phone number, and address be on that list?
If he is a registered voter.
Would a sheriff be on that list?
Because he is a sheriff, he has to be a registered voter in order to run. That's one of the criteria, that you be a registered voter.
Would the rest of our representatives... How about judges, Mike?
Exactly. If they're elected, yes.
Want to know where judges live? Mike, please hold that thought.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, LibertyOnCall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to LibertyOnCall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's LibertyOnCall.org.
Does being over 40 make you feel like half the man you used to be? Do you feel more tired, out of shape, not in the mood like you used to be? Thanks to an exclusive formula, you can help boost testosterone levels safely and naturally. Introducing Ageless Male, a life-changing supplement for men tested to help increase testosterone levels.
You'll notice a boost in your energy levels. Workouts work, sex life improves. It's like a light switch goes on.
Try Ageless Male risk-free if you would like to experience what taking Ageless Male can feel like. Support for healthy, normal testosterone levels, healthy energy, and increased performance, and more romance when you want it.
Call 1-800-327-4821. That's 1-800-327-4821. 800-327-4821. 800-327-4821. That's 1-800-327-4821.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
leave it alone. It'll come back around. Does that sound familiar? Most financial professionals are telling their clients that very thing. Don't panic. The stock market goes up. The stock market goes down. The real question you should be asking your financial professional is, do I have an exit strategy so I don't see a repeat of 2008? Look, friends, right now there are rumors circulating by many economists and self-proclaimed financial gurus that something significant could happen in September. I feel it's incumbent to warn you and help you at the same time. My friends at the Wealth Preservation Institute have a free report on how you can have an exit strategy. It's called How to Survive the Upcoming Economic Collapse and Protect Your Savings, Retirement, 401ks, IRAs, and income. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for another 2008. Call right now, 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929 for that free report, How to Survive an Upcoming Economic Collapse.
Freeze is here. Captain John Ragan's with us. Mike Parsons in Tennessee has called in. Mike, I've got a question. I just want to make sure I understand. You're talking about, registered voters and this database of registered voters in the area in which a person might be running for office. So if you decide to run for office or you work for someone who runs for office, you can get this database for free, right? And this is a database of what might be called good citizens, people who are registered to vote. Now, we talked about this, Mike, and so that could include deputies, and it could include sheriffs, and I guess prosecutors. Would they be on that list if they were a registered voter? Did we lose Mike?
Sorry about that. I muted myself out there. Anybody that is a registered voter in that county would be in that list. And so you'd have to go to the county in which that particular individual resides, and that's where they find. As a matter of fact, right now I'm looking at 2 CDs that are the complete list of Tipton County from June 19th, 2006, and this is an Excel spreadsheet. Would you like a copy? I can send you a copy.
Sure.
You have Excel?
Yes.
Great. I'll send you a copy.
Well, Mike, I'll tell you what. You can email that, right?
Depending on the size, I will give it a try.
Yeah. Well, this is really interesting, Mike. I just want to make sure I understand. So this is a database of registered voters equals good citizens, right?
Yes.
And you said deputies could be on there if they're registered voters, and
That's right.
sheriffs if they're registered voters, prosecutors?
Yes. Everybody. And every elected official, at least where I'm at, every elected official has to be a registered voter in order to run for office. That's one of the criteria.
Okay. Judges?
Judges would be elected too, yeah. All your circuit and general sessions judges, yeah.
Politicians, Mike?
Everyone.
Senators?
Well, they like to, let people know that they vote too.
Congressmen?
Congressmen, senators, presidents.
Governors?
Governors, most definitely.
All right, let me make sure. I want to make sure I get this right. So there's a list of good citizens, deputies, and sheriffs, and prosecutors, and judges, and politicians, and senators, and congressmen, all on this list where they live, and their phone numbers.
Yes, and if they have given their cell phone number, then they have that too. If they've ever given their whatever information they ever give out that ends up on this database is stored perpetually.
Wow. And so if somebody got that, they could share this?
Well, certainly, because you never know when you might have a campaign worker that wants to go door to door and pass out flyers. See, I spent $15,000 for a mail out, and I needed to make sure I had everybody's address correctly. And even though the local post offices in the south part of Tipton County threw my mailers in the trash and they never got delivered, I still went through the process of paying $15,000 for a single mail out so that the people in the community could learn about Mike Parsons and why he's running and what the problems are that we face.
Wow.
I'm not accusing anybody of intentionally having my mailers thrown in the trash to prevent the public from knowing the crookedness, the form of government that's being used in Tipton County, but, yeah.
So Mike,
let
me see if I've I'm fascinated by this. I just want to make sure I have this right. Freeze is laughing. The word Columbo just came up. So Mike, if I needed the phone number of one of these people that it's impossible to call because they don't give out their phone numbers, I'd have that phone number on this list.
Yes.
Wow. I think this might be a service.
Everyone
that some of our class might want to be involved in, and share the research. Share on a website.
I think it's the civic duty of every human being within the sound of my voice to consider running for office. Now, it could be just a matter of running to your local election commission office, getting a petition, filling it out, and then availing yourself of all the lists that you can get so that you can reach out to your fellow neighbors and those that aren't necessarily neighborly and let them know what your views are so you too can experience what I've experienced.
Well, not the prison part though, right?
No, not that.
So Mike, I've done exactly what you've said. I have run for office. And so I'm going to, this week, I'm going to go and visit our county and get the list of my closest friends and neighbors and their phone numbers.
And just in case, Vincent, there's no local elections, there are Senate and congressional elections, and you can be a volunteer. And once you become a listed volunteer on any of these campaigns, then you as a volunteer have the right to go into the county in which you choose and request a copy of that for your campaign.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to run yourself. You can be an aide to someone else who's running. It's all civic-minded, of course.
Well, I can't think of any other reason to do this. We need to make sure that those who have pledged to represent our interests are actually representing our interests, and we need to let them know what our interests are. Because sometimes it's hard to reach them, especially when their phone numbers aren't listed. But now that we know what their phone numbers are, we can call them up. And actually, if they're not available for meetings, we can go visit them, right?
I would say that would be a very convenient thing to do now before the elections, is to pay a visit and let them know, hey, we're out here and this is what we'd like.
Yeah. And with the cost of gasoline, maybe carpooling would be the thing to do.
Carpooling is a good thing. I like carpooling.
Okay. So if one of your friends has a van...
a lot of people in the back, too.
In what, a van?
With vans, yes. And if you have the windows dark, then you don't have to worry about sun glare.
Wow. I never thought of that, Mike. Hey, I really appreciate that. John Ragan, what are your thoughts?
Well, let me give you a reason why you might want to use that information right now. And it's a thing called the TPP. And the first 4 links in the control section there is talking about that. Now, I don't know about you, but, if I were to sit down and try to read the Bible, that's going to take me a little bit of time. Now, the TPP is more than 3 times longer than the King James Version.
And John, for those who are new, please explain what the TPP is.
Trans-Pacific Partnership. It's supposed to, be good for the American worker. And let me get into the rest of it. The Unaffordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. The TPP is almost 6 times as long as that.
Yeah.
The entire Harry Potter series, over 3,400 pages. The TPP is over 1.6 times longer than that. The entire Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit, nearly 1,500 pages. The TPP is over 3.7 times longer than that. I mean, this is massive. The complete works of William Shakespeare, it's more than 4 times longer than that. It is not about trade. It is about control. And one of the parts of that talks about copyright information. It will force ISPs to hand over information about copyright infringers. It will likely shut down all the alternative news sites for copyright violations. And it looks like they're going the 3-strike route, where you get 3 strikes, you no longer have internet access. Imagine living in today's world without internet access. And of course,
John, let me interrupt this message for just a short announcement. I just went to TalkStream Live to see what was being posted about this broadcast. It's down. TalkStream Live is down right now. Why? I don't know. HTTP status 404. TalkStream Live is not available. I wonder what that's about. I wonder if it has anything to do with what we've said. I hope TalkStream Live is okay. Yep, it's back up. Great news. It's back up. Okay. Please continue.
We have, hard leftists like Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton saying that, the TPP is worse than we even imagined. Of course, Congress has already voted to suspend the Constitution, and they will only do an up or down vote. They can't even filibuster this thing. So I totally expect the Republicans to stab us in the back again and pass this monstrosity. And the fourth link there will get you to the full text on the Office of the United States Trade Representative site. And you can read it online or download it. And I wish I could say this is the most disgusting thing that we're seeing, but unfortunately, I've got even more worse disgusting things that this administration is getting ready to do to us. And that might have to be held over to next week now.
John, you and I and some of our other instructors are privy to a lot of information, and so much of it is disturbing. You can probably hear it in my voice today. I'm kind of bummed out. We're overwhelmed with bad news. And we're not giving up the fight. But we're surrounded. We're surrounded by the other team, and we're also surrounded by apathy, ignorance, and people who are uninformed. But they're watching games. Mike in Tennessee, thanks so much for being with us. Michael in New York, you'll be up next. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
My name's Clyde, age 59, and I reside in Florence, South Carolina. The doctors diagnosed me as having clogged arteries. Felt like I was carrying heavy concrete blocks around my feet and legs. I started taking Heart and Body Extract as directed. It is less than 3 weeks, and I'm like a young man again. It's unbelievable that an herbal formula can work so fast and so powerfully.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Earthquake, floods, winter storms, prolonged power outages, or war. Each of us have had that moment when we recognize that we need to be better prepared. We typically do the same thing. We start with food storage, then we address the need for water. But have you considered heat storage? I'm talking about staying warm in the cold. Here are some things for you to consider. How will I keep my family warm? The standard answers are firewood, coal, or propane. But the problem with that if you need to be on the move is you can't take it with you. Another concern, there may come a time when you need to stay warm without smoke, like in times of war. There may even come a time when you can't burn fuel. The answers may be simpler and less costly than you think. For these answers, go to fortressclothing.com. Again, fortressclothing.com has the answers to your heat storage dilemma. Don't get stuck in the cold. fortressclothing.com. You'll never be cold again.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
I'm looking at TalkStream Live under USA Prepares, and there it is, Elected Critter Locate. Elected Critter Locator. And that is what Mike Parsons was talking about. Michael in New York will be with you in just a few seconds. Freeze, I had a very quick question. You mentioned a year's supply. Why 1 year? Where's that come from?
Good example of that was many years ago. I was asked that in front of a large group of people, and I kind of faltered. And an old gentleman stood up, an old farmer stood up and said, "I can tell you why." Kind of took the heat off me for this, because I was looking for an answer. He says, "Because as a farmer, you have a bad crop, it takes you another year to get on your feet." And it's it's a yardstick. It could be 15 months, it could be 11, but I thought he had a great answer.
Great response, thank you. Michael in New York, welcome.
Good morning, guys, and time for a critter roundup. Regarding TPP, I'll just surmise it real quick for everybody. It's a greater improvement of NAFTA and CAFTA. So all the great jobs and trading experiences we've already had from those two traitorous programs, TPP is just going to advance it even further and make things even better for us. so good, in fact, that communist China will be able to then come in and take over land and property, since we are in debt due to the trade unbalance. We are in debt to them, supposedly, even though we gave them everything for free. We still owe them. Okay, this is how it is here, right, guys? And then to enforce that they own that property and take it over and do what they want, they'll have their own troops here. And the UN, the blue-helmeted ones, will be overseeing that to make sure Americans don't interfere with this free trade progress. That's why they have to have our guns. And for all the blue helmet listeners out there, just know that I live for the day when your blue helmets and the heads that are in them are sitting in my yard on post. So that's what the TPP is all about, guys.
Michael, I always enjoy your enthusiasm and your passion. And one of our instructors actually was in the business, and during Vietnam, he did put some heads on sticks, and that would be one of our instructors who's out of the country right now. John Ragan, do you have any comments?
It's actually much worse than that. It's way beyond trade, and it gets into other areas of our life. And let me squeeze in before we run out of time here. The Verizon Knows Best link under control. Right now, that server is having an internal server error. But let me tell you what Verizon Fios has been doing. You know how you email somebody a link that you want them to give them information that, you know, how else are you going to provide other than sending the link so they can open up themselves? Well, Verizon is now counting that as spam, and the email does not go out. I expect a lot of blowback on this, but, you know, we are at the mercy of the companies, these corporations. You know, wherever you get your communications from, wherever you host your website, and they all have these terms of service that if you do anything offensive in their opinion, you don't have access. And that's the world that we're getting ready to come upon.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we don't do anything offensive here at USA Prepares. All we do is provide information, opinions, and facts. I'm so glad that you were not offensive. By the way, pornography, I guess, is not offensive, right? Because that's allowed, right? But the truth, some people find that offensive. And not us, but some people do. Well, John, and any last minute thoughts, last second thoughts? We got maybe 20 seconds.
No, just stay tuned, because like I said, I have even worse news than the TPP.
Great. Okay, we'll see you on Monday. Freeze, any last minute thoughts?
Yeah, well, a comment. A thank you to that nice lady who called. Candy, I think was her name.
In Arkansas.
Good questions, and thanks again if you're listening.
Yeah, let me give out Freeze's number for those of you who are interested in calling him directly. He has a cell phone, but it's not on him because he's in the house right now. He'll have to go out to get his cell phone. 530-559-2173. 530-559-2173. That's his direct line. And if you'd like a private free consultation, that's the number. John Ragan, thanks so much. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next? Now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.